This is Halloween, this is Halloween, Halloween, Halloween.
This is our review of The Nightmare Before Christmas, Clue. The Nightmare Before Christmas Clue is a deduction, roll and move style game, where the goal of the game is to figure out who kidnapped Santa Claus, with what, and where he's hidden.
At the start of each game, a suspect, location, and item are randomly chosen and placed inside the secret envelope.
Each player chooses a character and then is assigned a certain number of rumor cards depending on how many players are playing.
Players start in the middle of Halloween Town, then they roll dice to move to different locations to start their investigation.
At each location, a player can start a rumor by naming the location, a character, and an item.
Going around the table in order, if another player has the rumor card, they secretly show the player who guessed.
Players continue going around the board until they eliminate all options and only the final answer is left.
When a player has a solution, they move back to the center of town and make their final guess, and then they get to look inside the secret envelope.
If they guess correctly, they win. If they guess incorrectly, then they're out of the game and the other players continue until one of them can guess correctly.
The game also introduces intrigue cards, which you can get by landing on a question mark or rolling a question mark. They can give you special abilities that are positive, or they can even eliminate you if you draw too many of the Pumpkin Kings. Clue is a classic game that a lot of people have played throughout their whole lives, and I used to play it when I was a little kid. And this is just a new version with a different IP of the classic game Clue.
Funny thing about a lot of people playing this game, I've never played this game. And so when we were about to play and I brought that up, everyone's like, what? It's like, all right, calm down, guys. Like, just calm down. It's not that big of a deal. In my defense, I have heard of Clue. It's not like I've never heard of it before. You know, I know about the movie and I know it's a game and, you know, this person in the library with a hammer or something like that. I'm aware of it. I just didn't know exactly how to play it, nor have I played it.
When you first open the box, the first thing you'll notice is all the IP that comes with this game. So everything in this is related to The Nightmare Before Christmas, which is one of my favorite movies, especially Halloween movies. So you have all the characters as your characters. So you have Oogie Boogie, you have the mayor, you have Sally, you have Jack, you have Dr. Finkelstein. And the board has all the locations: Jack's house, the toy workshop, Santa's house, the forest with all the holiday doors and all that kind of stuff. So they really did put a lot of theming into the board, and you really do feel like this is The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah, speaking of the components, right? You have the little pieces here that are the little items. So this little duck thing, a bear trap.
The walking bathtub.
Yeah, they're metal, they're kind of Monopoly-ish. And then the board itself actually glows in the dark. I mean, there's little ghosts and I think the center glows, but if you turn out the lights, it's kind of cool, but you definitely can't play in the dark.
It's not bright enough to play in the dark.
Right, yeah.
All the main components of a game of Clue are there. You have the secret items which are in here, and you got to figure out the suspect, the room, and the item. In this one, you're figuring out who kidnapped Santa Claus. So instead of a murder, it's someone kidnapped Santa Claus. Who was it? Where are they hiding him? And what item did they use to kidnap him? You have your notepad, just like in every game of Clue, that you can fill out. And each person gets one of these, keeps them hidden and fills them out. Some people make notes, some people just do it randomly. But this game also incorporates a couple interesting rules that either I don't remember playing as a kid or they are different. Like pretty sure that there weren't intrigue cards in the regular game of Clue. I'm pretty sure these are a new thing. Basically, it's giving you abilities. Some of them will be like, on your turn, sneak a peek at and look at someone else's card when they're showing it. Or you can roll the dice again, or you can make two guesses, things like that. But there's also disadvantages like the Pumpkin King. And the player that draws the 8th Pumpkin King gets eliminated from the game. You're out of the game. So I like some of the changes that they made. It actually made Clue a new and interesting, fun game to play, even though I had been playing it my whole life.
One thing I like is when we choose our characters, as always, I enjoy the characters having something that's unique about them. So every character kind of had their own ability that you can use one time. I think mine allowed me to just transport to another room one time per game if I wanted to.
One thing I love about Clue in general is the deduction aspect of it, the whole purpose of the game. You're going around, process of elimination, trying to figure out the quickest way to know, okay, I have these cards, I got to figure out which cards everyone else has, I got to eliminate stuff. But then you're also trying to pay attention to what everyone else is guessing. You're like, they keep guessing that. Does that mean that they have that card and they're using it as their base to figure out other cards? It's fun not only to try to figure out what's going on, but also figure out how everyone else is playing the game to see if you can gather an extra clue without actually looking at a card.
As we were going around, Kenny would make a guess, and then I would make up a rumor, and you would see like who would give cards. So you'd be like, okay, they probably have something there, so let's see what their other cards. So at one point I was able to figure out like, all right, Teresa's got 3 locations and I know all 3 of them. So let me just try and avoid guessing with her giving me a card. And I messed up at that point and everyone just kind of laughed at me. They're like, ah.
It's a very family-friendly game. The box says 8 and up. I think that's what most Clue games are, if not even a little bit younger. Maybe the Halloween scariness of it makes it a little bit older, but it's still a game that any family can play, and it doesn't take that long to play. You're just going around trying to do social deduction. We played a 5-player game. It took like, what, maybe half an hour at most.
Overall, I'm going to give Clue a 5. I really like the deduction style of it. I knew there was just a piece that I was missing where I was like, like, I know there's a strategy and I'll figure it out, but I need to play it more. But overall, I like the theming, regardless of Nightmare Before Christmas or any of the other ones. It looks really great. I really like the Nightmare Before Christmas. I always, remember some of their songs, kind of like what he was singing in the very beginning. It's funny. It reminds me of a good time.
Overall, I'm going to give the game an 8. Everything about this version of the game is just pure nostalgia. I love Nightmare Before Christmas. I love Clue. I played it all the time growing up as a kid. I still love playing it. It's still a fun, quick little game. There's not a whole lot of strategy to it, but then it's good for families of all ages. So I really enjoy this game, and it's an 8.
And Teresa gives it a 10.
And Juliana gives it a 6. And that was our review of A Nightmare Before Christmas, Clue.
What'd you think? Do you have any strategies or tips that you can give me? Let us know in the comments below.
And if you're enjoying our content, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. And if you want more Halloween content, check out our description below.
Until next time, I'm Lee.
And I'm Kenny.